Hey guys, this is the first part of a 3-part tutorial where I'll be teaching you all on how to make some cool fire effects with FumeFx. So stay tuned. Today we're gonna learn about how to create some cool fire effect where the fire is coming out from an object, preferably a letter. Here we will use particles and a particle source. So those of you who don't know about it, it will be quite helpful for y'all. So let's start with the letter S. So the first thing that we want to do is create some particles. You can go on graph editors and particle view or press the 6 button. Right click, create new, and let's create a standard flow. Now as we can see in the viewport, we have a square. This is actually our particle source. Now if I go ahead and hit play, you can see that particles are being emitted from the source. Now I don't want that. I want them to be emitted from the object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert an operator called position object. I can switch off position icon and I can add the letter. Now if I go ahead and hit play, you can see that the particles are actually being emitted from the object. It doesn't matter where our source is, since our source is actually the letter. Now let's go ahead and reduce our speed. Let's say we want it at about 100. We can go ahead and increase our amount to say 5000. Let's have more particles. And let's have it going in this direction, in the top left. So what we can do about that is we can add a wind right here. Let's rotate it like so. And what I can do is I can create a new operator called force. Here I go ahead and I add the wind. As you can see, it's already started to affect. Now what I can do is I can increase or decrease the strength. Say I want it to be affected more, I want a stronger wind. I can make it 3, or I can have a weaker wind with 1. Now let's go ahead and make a FumeFx box. So I'll go ahead, make a FumeFx container. Let's change the height. I want it to be obviously taller. Let's make it about 100. And yep, let's change this to 1. What I can do is I can create a particle source, and from here I can add this, and let's select the event 001. Now you can see these circles on the particles, which is basically this, the radius. So usually we want these circles to be intersecting more, so we have a nice clean fire and not something which is really scattered, or a fire which will come in chunks. So we can increase this for now to about 1.3 seems decent. And now what I don't want to do is let's not have the smoke. I just want to play around with the fire for now. Let's increase our turbulence to say 1.7, 1.34. I want more detailing. Let's make this 0.4. Our small detail scale, let's make it about 0.6. Let's make this 0.4. This doesn't look so good. Let's see, about 0.3 looks good. And our small details amount, let's make it 0.5. Let's reduce our burn rate to about 20. And let's turn on cubic interpolation, increase the advection stride. Now we can keep the advection at about 1.3. We don't need to increase it that much. Increasing it could give us errors around our sources and around our object. So let's go ahead and sim and let's see how it looks. Oh, okay, so the fire amount is too much. What I can do is I can reduce the speed to say about 20. One thing which I did not do is delete the particles. So what I want to do is delete them, say by particle age, about 8 after 8 frames, or let's make it earlier. Let's make it 5 frames, and let's lower our speed even more. Let's add a variation of 3. What I can do is reduce the wind effect, and yep, this looks good. So let's go ahead and sim this. You can see we have too much fire. Let's turn on our GPU viewport display so we can see a bit of the fire. Let me add a light. Actually, yep, let's just add one. Say something like this, where I can go on my illumination tab and add this light. Now I can go to the light settings. I can turn on my shadows, use ray trace shadows, go on shadow parameters and turn on atmosphere shadows. Now the next thing I want to do is change a bit of the look of the fire. So what I can do is right click and hit on key mode. Let's click on it and open this bar. From here I can go ahead and change the colors. So let's make it a bit darker. Say about this looks good. And we can add a bit of darker colors in the middle, so it gives us much more detail. And we can, let's see what happens when I add a bit more red to it, and I can make it back to light orange right here. So we will have much more detailing. Let's go ahead and render this. Oops. What I need to do is turn off the shade. And yep. So our fire is essentially covering up most of our letter, which we don't want. We want the letter to be visible very much. So what I'll have to do is, not, for example, the particles which are emitting from here, I don't want them to touch this surface. I want them to die about here in the middle. So what I can do is I have to go back to my particle view. I will have to reduce my speed even more, and what I can do is let's delete it even faster. Let's see how the particles are going. What I can do is out here I can reduce our radius, which I had made it 1.3, so I could probably make it about 0.7. Yep. And I could increase our particles. Let's double it to 10,000, right? Now you can see our particles are not overlapping so much, but they still are. So I'll have to probably reduce the strength of my wind. Let's make it 0.2. Yep. Yeah, now it's looking good. So I can go ahead and sim this out. Now as you can see, we're getting really bad chunks. That is because of our radius. I think we need to increase it back. Let's go ahead and increase our radius to about 1. Yep, 1 looks good. No, 1 seems too much. Let's check out 0.8. Yep, so we're getting a nice fire effect right here. You can see that they're still in chunks. So what I'm going to do about that is I will, rather than having only one particle system affecting this, I can have multiple particle systems. So let's go ahead and try some of that. First, let's increase this to about 0.9, and we can reduce the spacing to about 0.7. So actually 0.5 seems better. We can get a better view of what our fire is going to look like. Yep, this looks quite good. What I can do is I can reduce our fuel to say about 40, because I don't want so much fire, so I can reduce the fuel. I think we need to further reduce our fuel to, let's make it 20. Yeah, this seems to be working well. Let's render out this frame and see how it looks. Yeah, it's looking good. So this is it for the first part of this tutorial. Do make sure to watch the second part. The link is down in the description below.